Hello everybody. Happy 2021. I decided to start out this year with a fairly easy project. Beginner level, I'd say. A resin casting with pine cones. A couple of different colors, green and blue, with a little bit of pearly white. Kind of a wintry feel. I did 2 different castings of each, and my intent here is to complete 8 little projects. And the first thing I'm going to do is 4 coffee scoop handles. And the first thing I'm doing is just boring the hole in the end to attach the coffee scoop. And then I'll cut the handle or carve the handle down to size on the lathe. You see that little mark there? That's the dividing point between the material needed for the pen blank that I'm going to make in my next set of 4 projects, and then the coffee scoop handle. Here I'm just testing for fit again. Obviously I'm switching back and forth in the video, but I do all of these steps for each handle. Once I've got it to the shape I want, I sand from 220 up to 1000 grit. Now for the coffee scoop handles, I'm staying completely food safe using Axe products, which I really like. Like I said, I sanded up to 1000 grit, and I'm applying the abrasive paste here, the Axe abrasive paste, and it puts a real nice finish on it. Or I should say it sands it really fine, and then I finish it with the axe restoring polish. Again, it's all food safe. I think it's mineral oil, carnauba wax, and beeswax combined. You can see the really nice polish there. So I saw the end off, and I'll hand sand the end of it to match the rest of the handle. Okay, let's look at some subscriber projects. Floyd Bachland made these. Really nice. And John Mullins sent me a bunch of pictures of his work. Gorgeous little bowls. Love that walnut. That's a beauty. Some great work. You'll find my email address in the video description if you want to submit some pictures for me to show. If you would actually like me to show your photos, though, you're going to need to let me know in your email. You got to give me permission to do so, or I just won't show them. Out of respect, because not everybody wants them shown. And what you see me doing here is just drilling the holes into the remaining blanks to fit the tubes in for the pens, and I'm cutting them down to size. That's either 80 grit or 100 grit sandpaper, and I'm just roughing up the outsides of the tubes just so the CA glue will hold better. It doesn't take much. I usually use medium CA glue to do this, but I had some thick sitting next to me there, so I just used it, and it worked out well. And I cut those a little bit oversized, so I'd have a little bit of wiggle room with the tube inside the blank there. So I will end up taking it over to the sander, which you'll see, where I'll sand it down to size and square it off nicely. And the first thing I have to do is make sure the sanding table and the miter gauge are square to the sanding disc. I don't use a barrel trimmer. I think that's what it's called. And that's why I do this step here. And I just take the resin or the wood, whatever the case may be, down to the very edge of the brass tube. And I'll show you how I can see that. It'll be nice and shiny. Now my finishing process on a pen is a little bit different than on a coffee scoop because I'm not worried about food safety. I mean, the resin itself is food safe, but I'm going to do a thick coating of CA glue to give it a real hard glass-like finish. So what I have to do here is, I sanded up to 500, and then I applied 10 coats of medium CA glue. I'm only showing a couple of applications here, but I do this 10 times on each pen. And it's always a gorgeous result. So once I've got the CA glue on there, my first step is to wet sand at 500. Up to 1000 with paper. And then I use micro mesh, which is 1200 grit up to 12,000 grit in 8 steps. After I get to 12,000 and dry it off, it really doesn't need anything else. But I like to use Renaissance wax. Just a thin coat of that with a nice fast polish, which you'll see. I just apply it with my finger. Hit it with that nice soft shop towel. Spin it up really fast, and it comes out looking like glass. Glass that doesn't smudge. I'm pretty happy with that. I did 2 blue pens and 2 green, but one of the green had a blowout on the lathe. I didn't catch it on camera, unfortunately, so I only ended up with 3 pens. Look at that finish. I'm very pleased with these 3 pens and the coffee scoops. I pressed that on with the bench vise. And it goes together very easy. Spring on the end of the refill. The mechanism screws on. And that just slides over nice and snug. You just spin the colored part and you got yourself a nice twist pen. Let me know what you think. I sure appreciate you watching. Thanks to everybody that has subscribed. Those of you that have been with me for years and those of you that just joined me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. God bless, and Semper Fi.